Fabulous. Hello, everyone. How are we all this evening? Are we ready for this week's Natural Gardening Live? Hope so. Make sure everything's working. Yes, we are good. Wait for it to sort itself out. Hello and welcome to this week's Natural Gardening Live. It's all right, I can't talk today. Hello and welcome to this week's Natural Gardening Live with me, Josie Rainbird, your natural gardening coach. Let me know if you can hear me and you can see me okay. I did have a little bit of an issue of throwing my microphone on the floor just now, so hopefully it looks like it works. It sounds like it works. So let me know if you can hear me. You can see me okay. I think I've killed it, so it's fine. We will see, won't we? If it suddenly decides to not work halfway through the live, then I know I've killed it. I'll get a new one. So in this week's Natural Gardening Live, I've got 5 quick jobs. Quick jobs being the operative word. 5 quick jobs that you can do to prepare your garden ready for spring. These are jobs you can do at a weekend, a couple of afternoons if you want to do it that way, if you want to split up over the week. So quick jobs you can do and jobs that will save you time and money as you go through the growing year. So not just jobs just to tidy up your garden and make it look nice ready for spring, but actually productive jobs that can have a knock-on effect as you go through the year. So they can save you a lot of time, a lot of money as well. So they have a knock-on effect, which is what we want. So if you're not sure where to start, because I know a few in the group are looking for more guidance as to where to start. If you're not where to start that one again. If you're not sure where to start and need a bit of help when it comes to the run up to spring, or you're looking to get a better start than you did last year on the new growing year, then keep on watching. And also, I'd like to just say as well, if you are looking for more guidance on you're new to gardening, new to your garden, it's a new garden to you, and you want more help when it comes to getting going towards the spring, knowing how to help your garden suit you, jobs that you can do in your garden, how to improve it, make it work better for you. As I say, my calendar is open now for the New Year's one-to-one consultations, online consultations, so I can offer those. They're all on the website, so if you go to greenfingertips.co.uk, it's all there on the front page, so you can pick from whichever option you want in the consultation line. So it's one-to-one coaching. But yes, that's all online, so it's all done via video. Simple. So yes, so if you need help and you want a bit more guidance on that, that is an option for you as well. So that's what we're talking about today. Hopefully it will help you. So let me know in the comments if you have started preparing your garden for spring. Now, we've had this going. If you're watching in the group, if you're watching in the coaching group, then I've asked this question already, and a few of you have got ready. This is how I know a few of you need a bit more help. If you're watching on YouTube, I don't think I've put it in the community a question, but I might have done. I can't remember. I think I have. I think I've asked in the community anyway. So yes, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you started preparing your garden for spring, and also what you have. If you have, what have you done? What have you started doing? How do you prepare for spring in your garden? So, I know quite a few have started sowing seeds and things, which is very exciting. I know I have this weekend. The weekend just gone, so we sowed some seeds, which is nice. Get the motivation going. So I'm looking forward to that. And now the weather's turned freezing cold and we're about to get snow. So I could have predicted that. It's like the trigger point, isn't it? You start to do things in the garden and it snows. Amazing. So anyway, cracking on. Excuse the croaky voice. It goes with the Tuesday nights, I think, at this point. I get a croak when I start to go live. So diving straight in to number 1 of our 5 quick jobs that you can do to prepare your garden for spring. So number 1, mulching and tidying your beds and borders. So this one, as a face value, works quite well. So as the winter gets going, your plants start to die back. They go into dormancy, they start to die back. So the dead material left behind can start to make your garden look a little bit untidy and messy. Try and clear my throat. A little bit untidy and messy. Now, we know that this can be good material and good resource, if you like, to support the insects and wildlife living in your garden. So that is good. It's good to have these bits here for a bit of time. But to get the best from your garden as you go into spring, and also to make your garden look on point, a tidy up will need to happen at some point as well before the spring starts. So this tidy up, depending on your garden size or the state of your garden as well, how much of a wild area you've got, needs only take like 45 minutes to do. So it doesn't need to take that long to tackle. This can be a fairly easy job and will make a real noticeable difference to the look of your garden, to the impact it has on you as well. So quick tidy up of your beds and borders. Now, if you've got like a garden that I've got the beds and borders that I will tidy up. I'll cut back things sort of around now. I've left them there for all of autumn, and then coming to early winter, I've left them there, but I've started to cut things back now. Things that the seed heads have definitely gone, the seeds have been eaten, scattered, whatever they have, they've gone. So I cut those back. My vegetable patch has still got an odd few dead seed heads and things going on in there, grass and things like that. So I've left those alone pretty much. I did start to tidy my vegetable patch up at the weekend, but the back part of my garden I leave and that goes wild. So there are bits in there that I won't cut back. They'll be left for the wildlife. That's my compromise. My garden part, so the front part of my garden, if you like, the front part of my back garden. That makes sense. The front part of my back garden makes sense in my head, will be tidied, and then the back part of my back garden will be wild. So that's my compromise. But anyway, that's my place. So yes, it only needs to take you a short time to do, and it can really make an impact into the look of your garden, getting ready for spring. So it makes it tidier, makes it much easier to maintain. So that was the tidying beds and borders side, but the mulching, this is the part that's going to have the knock-on effect for your garden. So mulching, again, is a job that takes no more than 10-15 minutes, depending on the size of the area you've got to cover. If you have a huge garden, it might take a little bit longer, but generally speaking, it can be quite a quick job to do. Mulching beds and borders after you've tidied them up can help in two ways. Don't know what accent I was trying to put on there, but it wasn't English. I don't think. 2 ways. It can help to feed your garden ready for when your plants start to grow again in the spring. Oh, better comment come through. I'll read that in a minute. For when your plants start to come through again in the spring, they start to get growing, and providing food at a time when they need it the most. Spring and summer, also spring and summer, is a time of rapid growth. So your plants are going to need as much nutrients as they can possibly get out the soil at that time. So if you can mulch them now and let the winter weather take it down into the soil, break it down, and then it will start to condition the soil and add the nutrients into the soil. As soon as the plants start to grow, the roots can start taking up all this nutrients as it needs it really quickly. And then the plants aren't going to suffer or be stunted by the fact that they can't get what they need early spring. It's going to be there for them ready. And then you have to feed them so much through the summer because it will be just filtering through nicely throughout the summer months. So it's going to save an awful lot of time. So this will also help towards the resilience of your plants as well, keeping them strong. So they're going to be able to recover from pest and disease damage faster as well. So this will help you to not need to treat your plants so much, any maintenance, any pruning or damage or anything like that. It will reduce the need for this as well because they will recover faster, meaning they'll heal, sort themselves out quicker. So there's a lot to be said for a bit of mulch. Mulching can also help to show a clean and tidy look to your garden as well, which is what my favourite bit about mulching is. I will say, when you mulch a flower bed, it makes everything look uniform, makes everything look clean and tidy. It covers up a lot of sins, a good mulch does. So a good couple of inches of mulch is really good. So yeah, it makes a good, clean, tidy look to your garden, and it will also give you a nice blank canvas, if you like, to fill, nice clean area, ready to fill with your bedding plants when you come to plant those up in the spring. So mulch is really good for that. And the top, where the bedding only sort of root down into the top layer of ground, they'll root into most of the mulch rather than any of the lower down soil, if you like, before it's worked its way down, which is what mulch will do through the year. So your bedding plants are going to be very, very, very happy plants because all the nutrients is going to be in the top of the ground. So soil care is very important, as we know. I talk about it quite a lot on here because it is very important. Soil is the foundation of your garden. If you look after your soil, you're going to make your life a lot easier in your garden. So it's very important. And by taking the time to mulch now, you can provide more support for the overall health of your garden that and obviously make the garden look tidier as well. So it will provide a lot more support for the overall health of your garden. So I had an error come up on my computer that distracted me. This will help to improve the resilience of your plants, as I said about the health and the recovering from pest and disease damage. So resilience in your plants, helping them to remove or recover, faster from any damage, reducing the need to treat as you go through the year. So that was number one. Tidying up, I've lost number one there. Mulching and tidying up the beds and borders. So as a simple face value, tidying out your beds and borders will make your garden look much nicer. Mulching your beds and borders will make your garden look much tidier and happier, which will give you the motivation and like a positive feel about your garden because it will look nice. But the knock-on effects from these actually helps you throughout the year, not just in this period of time. So number one, mulching beds and borders. Again, 45-minute job, half an hour at most. You can get this done. Easy. Oh dear, proper croak going today. Apologies. Right, number two. I'm getting there. Pruning shrubs, fruit bushes and perennials. Could have been just shrubs and fruit bushes, but the perennials I threw in for good measure to cover a variety of sins. So pruning shrubs, fruit bushes and perennials. So this sort of tidying up exercise, this is a kind of a tidying up exercise, kind of like with your tidy beds and borders. It plays a bigger role in the garden, in garden care, but tidying up is kind of the main purpose of it, which is really good. Pruning can help to make your garden look much neater and tidier, as we're saying. It's a tidying up exercise, but it can also help to encourage new vigour and new growth. So as the new growth starts in the spring, it'll come through stronger and greener and better, encouraging new buds and things as it goes. So a good prune is always good for encouraging new vigour in the new growth, of the plant. So by removing dead, damaged and diseased wood when you prune, you give a new lease of life, if you like, to the new year stems will come through, giving them room to grow, room to breathe. You can remove any crossing branches and things, taking up space that they don't need, shape the plant again, make it look tidy. So this will as I say, tidy everything up, make it look good, but it'll also help to, if you're removing any disease, improve the health of the plant. If you're removing it now, it's not going to then kick off again in the spring and then damage the rest of the plant. So you can remove it now while it's still dormant. Apologies. We'll get there. So improve vigour, improve the health of your plant and make the whole plant look tidier. So this is silly now. I'm going to mute my microphone and have a cough. Half a second. I think that'll be better. We'll see, won't we? So what to remove when you're pruning your shrubs, fruit bushes and perennials. So what to remove? Look for signs that the stems have split, obvious damage, any disease, anything like that. The stems that look brittle when you flex them, that's a good one to look for. This suggests the wood inside is dead. So remove anything like that. So any signs of splitting, damage, like the branch, if you look at it, has got any damage to it, any splits, anything like that. Remove any dead and diseased material. A good rule of thumb is also to remove the old wood and leave the new, or the young stems, if you like. This will be, the newer stems will be stronger and healthier for the plant. The older wood, some of the old wood will help to support and will be the structural support, if you like, for the plant. So some of it you'll have to leave and you'll see clearly which ones are structurally supporting and which ones can be removed. So it'll be clear. It will be clear. But yeah, so remove the old and leave the young. So the younger branches will be the healthier, stronger parts of the plant as they go through the new year, and then the newer growth will start from there. So try and only remove what's necessary. Again, you'll see what's necessary and what you think is too much. If you're not sure, just leave it, which is always a good rule of thumb for life. If you're not sure, leave it. And you can always look at it again in autumn when you come to do an autumn prune. So that's fine. So if you try and remove the old wood, if you can, obvious things like dead, damaged, diseased wood, definitely remove. That's a good one to remove. that'll be a good clear out for you, and it will improve the health of your plants. So pruning fruit trees, shrubs and perennials. So that's a really good way of supporting your whole garden, really. If you go for your plants like that, any bushes you've got, any smaller perennials that have maybe suffered over the winter, they're a really good one to look for the dead, damaged and diseased wood. So that's number 2. Number 3. So we are cracking on today because I don't want to keep you, and there's quite a few to get through. So number 3, top dress and prepare your veg bed. Now I did this the weekend just gone, along with a few seeds I was sowing in the greenhouse and tidying things up as well in the garden. So I have actually done most of this list this last weekend, so that's good. Lead by example, so to speak. Top dress and prepare your vegetable beds. So your vegetable patch is one of the hardest working patches around in your garden. I don't think that's arguable at all, really. Your vegetable patch is one of the hardest working patches around in your garden. The soil needs your help to keep up with the stress and demand put on it by the fruit and veg that you grow through the year. Starting now, a good top dressing of organic matter, so like well-rotted manure, compost, anything like that. If you've got leaf mold that you've been making, so the leaf compost, homemade compost, things like that. A good top dressing, a good inch or so, even 2 inches of top dressing of organic matter is a really good place to start. Hang on, my computer's frozen itself. Half a second. Don't you just love it? There we go. No, organic matter, perfect. This like your flower beds, like we're talking about at the beginning when you're mulching your flower beds, will provide nutrients and will improve the structure of the soil, helping drainage as well, which is important, helping the soil to hold nutrients and moisture as it's needed as well. And as the top dressing breaks down, the organic matter breaks down through the winter, this will filter down to the soil and it will input lots and lots of good nutrients, a variety of different nutrients as well that your vegetables will need and your fruit and veg will need as you go through the year. So they can draw on that as they need them, which is really good. So top dressing, mulching and conditioning. It's dreadful. Top dressing, mulching and conditioning the soil can be some of the most effective ways to care for your garden. Now, I've spoken about this before. Can be most effective way of caring for your garden, and with a huge number of positive knock-on effects leading to a healthier garden from one simple task. This task of top dressing your garden, I did 2 raised beds and the rest of my, I'd say like a 5 foot square, possibly 6 foot square. Actually, it's probably a bit bigger than that now. Just a piece of patch of ground next to my raised beds. I did that, and that took me, I want to say an hour, but I was on my own, moving bags around, and I was digging the ground in one of the patches, one of the raised beds as well, moving some bits around. So it wasn't just top dressing. So I would say probably 45 minutes to do that size of area. So if you use that as a gauge, it shouldn't take you too long to do it. And I did a good 2 inches of top dressing of mulching for this task. So it's a really good job done. My vegetable patch will love me this year. I do try and do it every year, but last year I did, instead of manure, I put compost on it. So it will still be good, still encourage a bit more nutrients in there, but manure is quite good for that, I will say. It's my go-to usually, but last year I didn't do it. So number 4, as I say, we are cracking on today. Clean and tidy. I will check for comments actually quickly and see if there's anything I can answer. If not, I'll wait till the end. Nothing I can answer right now, which is fine. Fab. Okay, number 4. Clean and tidy your tools, pots and buildings and surfaces. Really surfaces, but I put buildings in there. If you've got a potting shed or a greenhouse, then it's a good time to clean those down as well already before the spring, because there can be build-up of, algae or anything like that or moss on the glass of the greenhouse that can prevent light coming through, all sorts of different things. So we'll get to that in a minute. So this job can take no longer. It can take a little longer, but it's worth the time spent. Taking the time to clean your garden tools, pots, buildings and surfaces can give you, for one, it can give you a good starting point for the spring, quite literally clean slate. so it's good. It's always nice to start with a clean surface. It can prevent build-up and transfer of diseases to your plants as well, which you've spoken about before. If you're using dirty tools, if you're pruning your plants, you're going plant to plant, one of the plants have got a disease or some sort of fungal issue, then and you go straight to the next plant, to the next plant, to the next plant, they're going to transfer the issue onto all of those. So each plant's going to then develop the disease, which is not good. So cleaning your tools ideally is very important to do. Between uses ideally is the best way to go, but not always in an ideal world. So at least starting the year off with clean tools is good, because if you have cleaned them or forget to clean them at the end of the season, if you put them away, they've got the whole winter to build up any diseases, bacteria build up on the blades, on the secateurs, for instance, or anything like that on the surface. They've had that whole time to build that up and develop nicely. So then you're going to go straight out in the spring and then pass that on around your garden. So it's not good. So if you clean them before you start the spring, at least you know you're starting off with clean tools and you're not going to spread anything nasty. So that's a good one to go for, cleaning your tools. So your tools are an investment, and if you look after them, it can last you for years. I think what my secateurs, they must be 19 years old, easily. Might even be older than that now, actually. I've had them for years and years and years. 19 odd years, I reckon I've had them. They're still fine. I clean them regularly. I sharpen them 3 or 4 times a year, probably more than that, actually, to be fair, but I would say 3 or 4 times a year I sharpen them. They're really good, and they're always in good condition. They're still working fine, and they're that old. So yes, it's well worth looking after your tools. And so keeping them clean means you don't pass on diseases when you next prune, and also keeping your blade sharp. Anything with a blade, knife, secateurs, prune, loppers, anything with a blade that you're going to cut, like anvil blade or scissor blade type of things. If you keep them sharp, when you're cutting the stem, you're not going to squash it. You're going to cut it cleanly rather than squashing it. If you squash it, it tends to, or it'll cause a wound, if you like, rather than a clean cut. And that can also encourage disease and further issues as you go down the line, which you're going to have to end up treating. It's going to cost you money. You might even have to heavily prune the plant or lose the plant altogether. So it's worth keeping it all clean. As for surfaces and pots and buildings, I said about the greenhouse at the beginning, but pots are more important than that. If you are reusing plastic pots each year, like we try to, for like you get away from one-use plastic, that sort of thing. If you clean them every year, if once you've emptied one out at the end of the year, whenever you empty your pots out from the old compost, if you've got bedding plants or anything growing in there, it's worth cleaning them out, because anything that might be in that soil that could be a disease or any pests or anything like that, they're living in there. Once you've emptied them out, they could still be attached to the plastic. So then you want to clean them out ideally and then store them for the winter, and then have another look at them when they come out in the spring, because you don't know what could have like attached itself to the plastic as you go through like the winter time. I feel my voice is disappearing again. Hang on. So it's a really good idea to keep the pots clean, or clean them before you start to use them in the spring. Just put soapy water, absolutely fine. You don't really have to use a disinfectant, but you can if you want to. But soapy water, hot soapy water is always a good idea to go for, and that'll give it a good clean off. But yeah, you do need to make sure that you clean them. Otherwise, you could be passing anything to the next. When you put the clean compost in, it could just be a breeding ground for anything else. So we don't really want that. But that's the important thing next to tools. Keep your pots clean if you can. Clean your pots. So work surfaces are like you would do in the house. If you keep these surfaces that you're going to be preparing your cuttings on, or anything you're going to be doing potting or anything like that in like the greenhouse, if you've got benches that you're going to have pots on that you're going to grow stuff in, keeping them clean, even if it's just a good brush off. If nothing's going to be prepared on them, it's not so drastic. But if you're going to be like taking cuttings, if you're going to be doing seeds and things on there, keep them clean, because again, they can carry all sorts of bacteria and disease. You're just be passing that straight on to vulnerable plants. We don't want that, because we want to make life easier for us as gardeners. We don't want to be encouraging disease if we can help it. So That was that number 4? That was number 4. So that was cleaning and tidying. Cleaning and tidying your tools, pots, buildings, and surfaces. So if before we go any further, if you are watching in the group, I will put these as a post so you can see them all. So it's a good like jobs to do for the weekend kind of thing. So look out for those as we go through the week. I'll put those as a post for you to check out. If you are watching on YouTube, I try and put them in the community for you so you can check those out. But feel free to join the group, so check all the bits out that I do attach to these lives. I do put them all in the group, so the link will always be in the description of any of these videos, so you can check those out. But feel free to come over and join. Absolutely fine. So number 5 is, you'll love this one because we've been talking about it a lot in the group. Purchasing and organising your seeds. So I asked in the group the other day, which I will actually ask you now, leave in the comments. Do you have a preferred seed supplier or plant supplier? Where do you order your stuff from? So there's been a lot of different answers to this question that I put in the group the other day. I like Thompson & Morgan. I do like Sutton's as well. I do like them. But there's quite a few local nurseries that I used to buy my plants local to us that aren't online that I go to, which is really good. But Thompson & Morgan has been my favourite for a few years, really. I do go to them quite often. And they've been really good with plants as well. But I tend to buy my plants locally if I can. So, yeah, leave your ideas in the comments though. So purchasing and organising your seeds. So what better way to prepare yourself mentally for the spring, I love this, than by dreaming of what you can sow and grow, as I say, sow and grow in the spring. So ordering plants and seeds you want to grow in the spring, ready ahead of time, is one of the best ways that I have found, personally, of inspiring myself on the run up to spring. So in the winter time, and you can't really do a lot in the garden, you tend to get a little bit demoralised by it all, and like it makes a little bit sad, I will say. But as soon as you get to the idea of you can plan and get ready for spring, you can start thinking about what you want to grow, you can start buying your seeds, planning what plants you want, all sorts of things like that. That really does boost you up a little bit, which is nice. So it's a very effective mindset tool, if nothing else. So this job, say it's a job, I sit down with a cup of tea, usually 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending how long I want to sit down for or how big my cup of tea is. So it takes 10 minutes with a cup of tea. I look online at the Thompson Morgan site usually, or Sutton's site. If I go out on the weekend looking at garden centres or nurseries, that can take a little bit longer. But yeah, if I'm looking for seeds, generally I'll do it online or in the catalogues. So if so I sit down with a cup of tea, flick through, and then mark off or write down the ones that I want. I have a running list. If I can find it on my phone, try and find it for you so you can see it. I have a running list of all the seeds. Yeah, it's near the top. See if you can see it. Running list of all my seeds. It's got a checklist. So I write down all the seeds that I have saved from the year before, or I've got left from the year before as well. And I write everything down, and then the seeds that I want to grow as well, want to add in, so extra things I want to grow, I write on the list. And I've got it as a checklist, so I can check off everything I've got, and then I know what I need to look for and buy. So that's what I do. But yeah, so when I'm looking for my catalogues, I can go, oh, I want to grow them, so I add them to my list. Or if I found some that I want to order, I mark them on my list, one way or the other. So 10 minutes with a cup of tea, that's how long it really takes me. I could just relax, read the books, or look online, find the ones I want, circle them, sort it out. By ordering ahead of time as well, which is what I've worked out in the last few years, ordering ahead of time, it can save me a job later on because I have to panic about it. I can just take it at my leisure. You can also, there are usually lots of offers on early season as well, which is really good, which you've noticed recently. A lot of people are saying in the group, there have been some good offers on the Sutton website, I've noticed. And Thompson Morgan have just put some offers on as well. So they've got some really good seeds and cheap prices. So I'll be looking at those at the weekend. So early season, you can get some good discounts as well, which is really nice. So ordering ahead of time, saving you a job, and it can save you a lot of money. That's really good. Plants tend to be, you can order ahead of time, but they still won't come out to you until sort of March, May time. but that's because they'll come out when they're ready. You can't rush a plant. A packet of seeds they might have from last year, or they might have them ready to send out now. Usually it's quite straight away, but plants you might have to wait till March time, May time, when they're ready to come out. So it is what it is. So I thought I was going to cough. I didn't want to cough, so I thought I'd just mute you. So that was your 5. So let me know in the comments, as I said, about where do you tend to order or buy your seeds from or your plants from. If you've got any online people you go to, or if you stick local, if you can. I tend to do both, so it's fine. So there's no judgment, obviously. It's just an opinion on what you have. As I say, I tend to do both. I do hope these 5 quick jobs, so they are quick, they don't take you very long, and the seed one is more of a pleasure rather than a job. It can give you a bit more, bit of a place to start, if you like, on your way into spring. A bit of a motivation as well, because you know you're working towards spring, which is really good. So I do hope they help you, because it can be a bit daunting if you're not sure where to start, and you don't want to waste the quiet time, because you know as soon as it hits spring, it's going to get busier. So you're going to be instantly on the back foot. So hopefully these will give you a place to start that's going to actually help you and make your life easier as you go through the year, rather than just be jobs that are tidying your garden, which is obviously good anyway, but you know, I wanted to give you a bit more than that. So if you have any questions, as usual, so that's all for today, but if you've got any questions, please feel free to comment below. Let me know. If you're in the group, comment below the posts. Obviously, comment below this video if you want to, but comment below the posts as I put them through the week, so you can check those out. Yes, and I would yes, nothing else I needed to say. So I'll be back next week for our next episode of Natural Gardening Live. Look out on Sunday for my for when I post the next episode, if you like, for the details. So that'll be up on Sunday at some point. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. And I think that's it for today. If there's no questions, let me have a look. Nothing I can comment on, which is fine. I will catch you all later. So have a great evening. Have a great week. And try and get some of these jobs done if you can. Let me know in the comments as well if you're going to be doing any of these jobs, if any of them are thought of being a good idea. If you've done any already, let me know and see how you get on. But I do hope they help you and give you a bit of motivation towards spring. But on that note, I will leave it there. See you all later and have a great day. Bye-bye.